Hi, how's it going? Today I wanted to talk a little bit about subconscious thought. Um, I mentioned this already in my channel description, um, but in case you didn't read it, which I doubt you have, I'll just sort of reiterate what I said. Do you ever get this where you're sort of in autopilot mode and you're sort of just sort of going through the day completely mindless? You're just sort of progressing through each task, um, progressing through the day, but you're not really aware of exactly what you're doing. You're just sort of subconsciously coasting through the day. And when you're in this mode, not when I say you, I mean you in a general sense. I don't mean like you specifically or necessarily. But like, I don't know if this happens to everybody else, but I know it happens to some people. But anyways, you're in the subconscious mode, and when you're in the subconscious mode, you feel happy or you feel content. Uh, you know, you're not worrying about anything. Your mind's just focusing on the immediate task at hand. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what triggers this, but out of nowhere, you sort of instantly transition from subconscious mode to conscious mode, and you suddenly become aware of your thoughts, and you suddenly realize everything that's happening before you. And when that happens, you start to kind of feel like shit. You start to feel a bit depressed. And for a second I thought to myself, well, why would the human mind allow that? If I have the ability to be happy right now, which I know I do, because I just was 2 minutes ago, then why can't my mind just keep me happy like that? But then I realized quickly after that, well, your body does everything for a reason, so there must be a reason for it. And I concluded that, stress and anxiety, not depression, but stress, anxiety, worries, those are useful emotions. They let you know something's wrong, so you can fix it. It's like a self-defense mechanism. This is kind of really interesting, how you do have the ability to, the ability to be happy when you want to. Just getting yourself in that mode is hard to do. And there's this guy from a long time ago. He was like considered the world's happiest man. I think he had like a record or something, but he had like double the amount of serotonin of the average human being. If you don't know what serotonin is, it's like a chemical in your brain that makes you happy. And he had like double the amount of normal human beings. And he said happiness is a skill, and it's a choice. You can choose to be happy, and you can work on it. Like, it's a skill. You can practice being happy. It sounds kind of weird, but it's got to be true if you think about it. Like, the grass is always greener on the other side. You know that expression. If I were to walk down the street right now and I came across $1 on the ground, I'd be like, sweet, $1. I'd pick it up, put it in my pocket, and carry on with the day. Go buy a fucking Twix or something. But, if you're in a poor country and you had no money, you're starving, and you're walking down the street and you came across $1, or whatever their currency is, equivalent to a Canadian dollar. If they came across a Canadian dollar's worth of money, that'd be like a big deal to them. Like, by law with that. And that would, make them pretty happy. Even though to us it's just $1. So you're only happy, like, you only become happy from what you're accustomed to. You know what I mean? It's really interesting. It's like that story of the, well, I don't know if it's a story or a myth, I think it's probably a myth, because I heard this story from a few different people, and there's always a different twist to it. So, that's typical of myths to do that. So I'm assuming it's a myth, but either way, it makes a good point. So the story goes, there's this multi-billionaire investor, and he makes billions of dollars through investments and stocks and trading and all that shit. And with one very bad investment, he made a really big mistake, and he lost all his money. He put all his money into it, and it tanked, and he lost billions of dollars, but he didn't lose all his money. He kept, he was able to save a few million or whatever. That's basically all his money if you look at the big picture. But that's still a lot of money, a few $1 million, right? So the guy loses all that money and he kills himself. And it's like, he's had a taste of the other side of the fence. He's walked on the greener grass. And he'd rather kill himself. He'd rather die than to go back to living like a normal person, like me and you. Not even, a millionaire. He can't even be a millionaire. The billionaire life is just too good to ever go back to millionaire. So he just fucking killed himself. That's fucking stupid. That guy's a fucking loser in my book. What a piece of shit. Seriously. I don't think money would change me too much. But I'm sure everyone says that before they become rich. But it's not like there's no good rich people out there. There's lots of good rich people out there. I like to think I'm a good person. I don't see why it would make me do anything stupid or, if anything, I'd probably be a more giving person, I'd actually have something to give. But, I don't know, I just thought it was kind of interesting how, what makes one person happy can be meaningless to another person. And it's just we're so fucking lucky to, well, I don't know where you come from. I live in Canada, and I feel so lucky. You obviously have a computer and internet, so you can't be too too impoverished. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm sure most of my viewers are Canadian or American or from the UK. And also, where do I get a lot of views from? Austria. I have a lot of Austrian views for some reason. I don't know. I guess they like me in Austria. What up, Austria? But anyways, if you're from any of those countries, then you're lucky. To be honest, I think most North Americans, Canadians and Americans, and I'm sure this is the same for any other first world country, it's just, we're fucking spoiled. And honestly, people take it for granted like crazy. It's ridiculous. When I hear people complain about immigration or liquor prices and shit like that, it's give your fucking head a shake. You live in Vancouver. You live in the most livable city in the world, according to that, poll or whatever. You live in the most livable city, and you're still not fucking happy. Like, what do you want out of life? Like, fuck. I just don't get that. Like, people in China, people in Ethiopia and shit, they have shit to complain about, And I hate when they get mad, Canadians get mad at the immigration. When Canada's only 145 years old, we're still a new country, we're still, forming. Let them fucking move here. We only got like 9.5 million square kilometers. Like, fuck, talk about greedy, right? Jesus Christ. And like, if you lived in a shitty country and you wanted to get out, and there's a country like Canada with lenient immigration laws where you could get in, would you not take advantage of that opportunity too? I'm sure you would. Like, they're human, right? And by them I mean mainly like Chinese or Indian. There's a lot of Indian and Chinese immigrants in Canada. But like, they're just doing what any human would. Like, I don't know. There's no need for all the racism in Canada, and there's a lot, believe me. Like, and then they say, like, they get pissed off. They're like, oh, they have more rights than we do. That's not true. It isn't true. I can see why they're saying that, but it's ridiculous. Do you know how hard it is for an immigrant to get a job here? A good job? We got all these, like India and Pakistan and stuff. They have, like, some of the best doctors in the world. And we get some of these, like, super qualified doctors to come over here. And then they won't get a job. If they had more rights than us, they'd be getting the job. It's so dumb. People just like to complain. That's why, I haven't really done much traveling in my life. I've never been outside Canada or the United States. I've been to, like, New York and California. That's about it. And I've been all across southern Canada too, but when I travel, and I plan on traveling, the first place on my destination list is Tibet. Tibet is a really cool country. It's right on top of the Himalayas, right above India. It's actually the highest elevated country in the world. That's not why I want to go there, though, so I can be in the highest country in the world. I want to go there because there's not very many places left on Earth that are unspoiled by modern civilization. Like, we're spoiled here. Like, Vancouver's pretty spoiled. But like, those people still have a real work ethic. They still have, like, they can appreciate the smaller things in life, something the average Canadian can't do. And I don't, like I said earlier, grass is always greener on the other side, so I don't blame people for acting the way they do in Canada. It's not our fault as a human. It's just we're spoiled. We're lucky. We're lucky. It's not a bad thing that we're spoiled. Believe me, I don't take for granted for 1 second, the country that I live in. It's just, I think sometimes we need to stop and think about our problems and then compare them to some of the problems they have in other countries. They pale in in comparison. So, this might sound crazy and sort of idealist, but all those starving countries in Africa and stuff, they don't need to be starving. There's a solution. There is a way to feed everyone on the planet. It's possible. Definitely possible. It is possible. It's easily possible. We could already feed like how many billion people? We can't, feed a few more. Like, it all comes down to money. The world revolves around money and greed. But more specifically, money. The whole world revolves around money. And I'm not saying I hate money. It's crucial. We need money. We need currency so people can work, so people have incentive to work, so, someone can flip your Big Macs when you go to McDonald's. Without money, no one has incentive to work, so it'd just be anarchy, basically. That being said, it gets to the point where we as humans can't come together and feed these starving people across the world, because it costs money to ship food over there, and it's not worth it to our governments. And even if one country thought the way I did, it won't work. You need the whole world to get together and do something about it. And as time goes on, as time progresses, the world becomes more and more greedy. And so, starvation's never going to be, it's always going to be an issue. It's always going to get worse and worse, too. I don't know. I sound like John Lennon or some shit. But, it's funny whenever those animal cruelty commercials come on, when I want you to donate money, there's always a girl there in the room when that commercial comes on, and she always says, these commercials upset me more than when I see the ones about starving kids. Like, really. I'm not saying animal cruelty does not upset me. Believe me, I love animals. I never have, I never would hurt an animal in my life. I absolutely love animals. And I don't like seeing those commercials either, but how can you not have any sympathy when it shows, a 4-year-old little girl, about ready to die, That's just fucked up. It's easy to just think about it and say, yeah, it's sad. But if you really, really think about it, and it's hard to get in that mindset, but if you really think about it, sometimes it'll just click, and you'll just, for 1 second, you'll feel what they're feeling, and it's just it's sad. And all I'm saying is we're lucky. Don't forget it. Anyways, I started this vlog. I was just gonna talk about the autopilot thing, but somehow I got off topic. They all kind of relate to each other, though, in the end. So, that's my vlog. Have a good day. Take it easy. Don't forget, you're fucking lucky.